So I got an interesting one for you tonight. I went and did my laundry at the laundromat like I normally do, and usually there's no issues. Usually there's no one else there. I do my laundry alone. Nobody bothers me. It's peaceful. I get a lot of reading done. It's good. Tonight, however, real talkative gent sitting there chatting my ear off, and I'm nice. I'm respectful. I conversate back with the man. He's he tells me he's around in his 60s. He is uh multiracial, faceted, mostly white guy though. Let's just keep it real. Um, and that he comes from Texas area. For all those that don't know, I'm in Gardnerville right now, Nevada. Anyways, so he starts talking about well, we were chatting up about the government, of course, my favorite subject, and how to that, and he's we're talking about respect, and one of the things I say is, an anti-disestablishmentarianism ist, and I have no love for the government because the government doesn't actually care for me, so I don't care for them. There's no love because there's no respect. No respect, there's no love. Basic. And he starts talking about this one story about how he was so-called disrespected while he was in Texas. He went to some party with a bunch of black dudes, and they kept calling him boy. Hey boy, hey boy. And he even admitted before he started going off that people call each other boy down there all the time. It's not really a racial kind of thing, a racist kind of thing, I should say. It's just the way people talk. They just call everyone boy. Hey, you good old boy. Hey, boy, what's up, boy? Whatever. It's a regional thing, right? So these black gentlemen that he's describing in this story are referring to him as boy, and he says that after a little bit of this, he gets tired of it, and he pops off and calls them the N-word. And then he continues to call them the N-word for the next, I don't know, 10 minutes or so that he's still there before they bounce his ass out. And he's saying the N-word, like straight on hard R, and I'm just like, dude, like, come on. And after he's done with the story, I'm respectful. I let him finish his story. Maybe once he's done telling the story, he'll stop with the word. I don't really need to say anything. I don't need to correct anyone. Fact is, I don't really care about people using the N word so much, as long as it's tasteful a little bit, But this there really isn't a tasteful way to do it, but I hope you people out there, and by you people, I mean you actual people, five fingers, head, humanoid figure, understand what I'm actually trying to say here is that words don't really have that much power behind them if you take that power out of them. So, when people call me names, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not going to allow them to have that kind of power over me talking those kind of words. Matter of fact, because I grew up in the 90s and I have a thick skin, and Comedy Central was actually funny back then, and people said whatever they wanted, and racist jokes were actually funny back then, I don't let it get to me. I laugh it off. I don't care how I'm insulted. People insult me 101 different ways, and it's I like hearing it. I like hearing what people really think of me, or even what they think of me. It's entertaining to me, so I allow it. I don't get too butthurt about it. But there is a line, though. There's a certain line of malice that goes in with that. And although I can take jokes, most people don't. And the thing is that most people do need to actually really watch what they say around people to not rile them up. Because to be honest, it's just stupid. Why would you even do that? If you know it's going to cause it problems, why are you going to go there? So, that said, I thought that after his little story, he would be done with it. But no. No. After he's done with his story, he pops off the whole, well, you can't really trust him anyways. And I'm like, dude. And so before I can even start to say anything, because now I've had enough, he's like, oh, let me tell you a joke. Yeah, how do you get to kill himself? Well, you have him stick his head out the window while you're driving down the freeway, and his big lips will beat him to death. And I'm just like, dude, not even a funny joke. Like, that's just bad. Horrible. So, again, I'm like at the point where I need to say something. And I'm just like, if he says one more freaking thing about this, I am going to say something. And of course, just like I know he was going to, he straight up does. Because at this point, he's a little too freaking comfortable popping off with the N-er word. Don't do that. And so, when he starts to tell his next joke, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to stop you right now and let you know my brother's black. And this is a true story. This is God honest truth. I have a black brother. I have 5 other brothers. One of them happens to be black. So I grew up knowing where the limits are, if you know what I mean. And, one of the things I told this guy is, having a black brother. I remember one of the days when he was a child, like a little boy, and he came home crying because people were calling him the N-word. And as, his big brothers, we had to step up and go do something about that. I don't want to see my little brothers cry. Never really, that wasn't really one of my things I liked seeing, especially for that kind of shit. So anyways, though, like, tell him, dude, just tone it down with that, please. Like, you don't need to be saying that. And like I said, I told him the story of my little brother coming home crying. And he tells me, oh, well, I just gotta say, man, I come from a different time. He's like in his 60s or something like that. And he's from Texas, as if that matters any. I just come from a different place and a different time. So, it kind of means something different. And I'm like, the place and the time that you're talking about, it's not really any different than it is now. You know what I'm saying? It's just really tactful. It's just no tact, excuse me. No tact at all. It's just distasteful. There we go. And, I just tell him, I was like, I don't care. I just rather I not hear that word come out of your mouth. Just be respectful. And, at the same time, there's another white dude at the other end of the laundromat, which is funny. Because, like I said, usually I'm there alone. But tonight, there was like about 10 people there. And the way, the balls on this guy to go out there and be like that just blew me away. So anyways, though, like, after I kind of put him in his place, I'm just like, I'm kind of tired of hearing that, man. Change the subject. He quickly finishes folding up his laundry, throws it in his basket, and he's pretty much done. From the time I said something to the time he leaves, about 2 minutes pass. And he was kind of milking it a little bit because he was talking, but by the time I busted him out, he hurried himself out. And I'm just gonna say, to close, like, don't be that person. Like, there's no need for it. And the way that he tried to make excuses for it, like, oh, I come from a different place, I come from a different time. Oh, if you look up in the dictionary what the N word actually means. No, no, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say about it. I don't care for your excuses. I think we're at a point now where we know that everyone, even black people, I'm going to say this right now, you shouldn't be saying that shit either. If you're so worried about one person saying it, you shouldn't be saying it either. So I'm just going to say that right now. Don't be a hypocrite. If you are going to have such a bad attitude about someone else saying it, and then you go off and say it anyways, it's almost void, man. It's almost void. Your feelings, your emotions, any kind of attachment that you have towards that word are now null and void because you don't care when you use it, but you care when other people use it. You can't have it that way. It's either a joke to all or it's serious to all. Let's just get over it right now. And the fact is, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to go that route. I don't want to be openly disrespectful to a whole fucking group of people. Basic. Just basic, man. Don't be that person. And you know what? It goes around all the way. You can't just be there's no such thing as racism towards just one group of people. It happens to the whole spectrum, the whole color spectrum of people on this planet. All right? It goes both ways. There and don't even the thing I hate the most is when people say reverse racism. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Don't be that person to say that kind of crap either. Racism is racism. That's it. Don't do it. Don't be that person. All right. That's it. Rant's over. Have a good night.